What's going on, everybody? Appreciate all of you for tuning in. Uh, Hopefully, you enjoyed that intro. Shout out to Key for making it. You can catch her with Jory, Hoop Dreams and TD Queens. But yeah, I like it. So yeah, thanks for coming in. Got a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about some WNBA. We're even going to have a little side conversation dealing around a video game, which that's always going to be fun. Jory and I will kind of start our NFL preseason predictions and all that with our top 10 defenses for next season. So you'll want to stick around for that as well. And yeah, even more. But before we get into that, gotta let gotta introduce, the co-host, Jory Sports Stories, and honorary third member, Bella, who you can see there. How are you doing tonight, Jory?
She's really putting it on for the camera. All right. Um, I'm doing all right. The intro was fired. Thank you,
Yeah.
Keith. I do appreciate it. That's my co-host. In about 2 weeks, you can catch us hooping into touchdown queens will return in about 2 weeks. So look out for that. But I've had a pretty long week. Excited to talk some sports. There's some things that have really pissed me off. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes, and we will definitely get into all of that. But yeah, I mean, look, after a long week, what better way than to sit down and listen to Jory and I talk about some of the biggest stories around the sports world, and even some you might have missed. So with that, let's get into the first topic. We got to talk about, uh, and look, this one we're going to Wimbledon. We're going to tennis on this one. Trinity Rodman, who, if you didn't know, U.S. women's national team soccer star, also part of the WSL. She's also dating Ben Shelton, who's a young up and coming tennis player. So, as the natural thing with Wimbledon, celebrities love going over to England to watch Wimbledon because it is a big deal on the tennis calendar. So, obviously, she's out there supporting her boyfriend, and the announcers decided to do a little Rodman family moment, I guess, where they bring up her dad, who happens to be Dennis Rodman. We all know from the Bulls and the Pistons. I mean, would have helped if they had gotten her name right because they kept calling her Tiffany when her name is Trinity. But mistakes can happen, I guess. I feel like that's something you should know if you're going to talk about her on a broadcast. But yeah, it seems like it's gotten some attention because of kind of the story about the Rodmans, which we'll get into here, and I'll allow Jory to elaborate on that. But I guess with seeing that and what happened, obviously you never want to see uh, Trinity, who's just there supporting her boyfriend, now become a bigger story than almost him. But it was just like, would you think about it? Would you think about them constantly trying to remind us about Dennis Rodman, even though we all know? If you don't know, like Dennis Rodman was a wild man, a lot of partying nights and everything like that.
Didn't take care of his kids.
I, I mean, yeah, that's probably the first thing. And I feel like when we heard about Trinity coming up through the U.S. soccer, training and everything like that, it's kind of been documented that Dennis wasn't, the greatest influence on her life because he just wasn't kind of there. So the fact that they're trying to connect the dots and it kind of puts her in an awkward situation that she would have to like answer about that when the story's kind of out there for everybody to know. So I guess what were your thoughts on this whole situation that probably shouldn't even have become one, but the
Why even bring
announcement
that
decided to
up?
take it
It's
there.
about him.
Yeah.
It's about him. He's the one that's playing at Wimbledon. She's there to support her man. Why she gotta answer questions and deal with people trying to make correlations between her and her deadbeat ass daddy?
I
And to
mean,
the people who I've seen, because I've seen a bunch of comments
mm-hmm,
that I don't necessarily care for,
mm-hmm.
he gave her the last name, he gave her the notoriety, and da 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 da. And to all of that, I say, bump that. Where was the time and the attention that she wanted?
Mm-hmm.
Where was that? He's busy taking 48 hours to go to Vegas. Go take 48 hours to go see your kids.
I mean, he was out living it up with Carmen Electra and with Madonna. Those are the two. Those are two highly publicized ones, but we know there were others.
I'm like, I know about it. I feel like she don't want to be associated with the man.
She
It
probably
comes
doesn't want to define like who she is. Like she's making a name for herself.
exactly. She doesn't want that to
Yeah.
define. She doesn't want her deadbeat ass daddy, whoever the hell he is, to define what she is.
Mm-hmm.
So for people to sit there and say that, I'm like, no, she made her. She worked on her talent. She
Mm-hmm.
perfected her game. She earned that, not her dad. Her dad helped make her, and that's about it. But all this other BS. Well, Negro, you helped make the child. The hell
Mm-hmm.
you think you
But I feel like that's kind of when you're the child of an athlete. I feel like that's something that you kind of have to battle with. The kind of like the glamorization of your life because the assumption is, oh, you were the daughter or son of this well-known celebrity, so your life must have been great and all that. They're not all great. Trinity's, her relationship with the dad wasn't all that great, but she turned out well. She's doing her thing. I mean, looking at NBA, Bronny, LeBron, those two always talked about. And we even talked about it when the draft process happened. Like, I'm sure in Bronny's mind, he'd love to be somewhere out of the dad's shadow where he could carve out his own story. But unfortunately, for the media, they love that connection because it, for them, I guess it gives them a juicier headline or whatever. So, I, yeah, I'm sure like Trinity knew she was going to be recognized because she is that big of a deal if you do watch women's soccer.
mm-hmm.
But she also, I'm assuming, she didn't want to take any attention away from Ben Shelton, who was having a decent tournament. I believe he was eliminated a couple of rounds ago, but
And the mispronouncing of the name,
yeah.
that is a microaggression. You cannot get mad at her for being pissed
Yeah.
off about that. It's a microaggression because some people do that shit on purpose
Mm-hmm.
to make it seem like African American women have these long drawn out names. They do
Yeah.
it. I get it gets done to me. People mispronounce my name on purpose, and it's 4 damn letters.
Mm-hmm. That is kind of the crazy part. 4 letters, like, but
I get called Jewelry, Jordan, Glory, Zuri. Where the fuck is a Z in my name? Excuse my French.
sorry. Yeah.
It is a microaggression. You can't get mad at her for being upset about that. Her name is not that hard. It's a
Mm-hmm.
word. It is a legit word. What are we talking about here? Yeah, but I can understand why she would be upset about that. She's there for support. Don't be bringing up somebody who ain't been around me like that, who don't really know me like that. Don't sit here and try to make these correlations on his behalf, on my man's behalf, trying to take the attention away from him. No, let him get the attention. I'm just there to cheer. Let me cheer in peace. Like, Certain things you don't bring up. There's a time and a place for everything. That wasn't the time nor place.
And I think that's a great point. Like if you wanted to, like after the match, bring her to the studio set and be like, "Hey, we're talking to Trinity Rodman." Like if she's cool with it to talk about it in that space, fine. But during the broadcast, like they could have just shown her and been like, "Look, it's Trinity Rodman, Ben Shelton's girlfriend, U.S. women's soccer star." Kept it moving. Pan to the next celebrity or something. So yeah, like you said, I can definitely see why she would be.
Don't they have nameplates under these celebrities' names when they show them on the screen?
They normally do,
So
yes.
why the hell they keep calling her Tiffany? And it's right there on the damn screen.
Well, when I read that, I'm assuming maybe they didn't put one for her. I don't know, because I would find it hard that they would look at that and then read Trinity and be like Tiffany. That's kind of crazy. I don't know. Who knows with these broadcasters?
I got mad for her.
Yeah, and look, like you said, even if she says she wasn't, even if she like said she wouldn't be mad, like it's still an annoyance, at
Hmm.
least. But I mean, hopefully it doesn't happen again because obviously they're still dating. She may pop up at some other, tennis tournaments and everything like that, tennis championships, and we'll see if they learn from this time and don't do it again.
They should.
Right. All right. Let's transition to let's go NBA. We noticed some extensions that kind of went down this past week. Some were interesting, definitely caught the attention of the NBA world. And other ones, I guess we'll see down the line, especially with one team that locked in their core. So we'll definitely discuss that. But let's start with Devin Booker. Because Booker was a guy all last season. There was this thought that he might leave Phoenix. He might be getting frustrated. I believe he's getting close to that 30-year-old age. So he's not a young player necessarily anymore. And he obviously, the assumption is, would want to win a title. We see that they moved on from Kevin Durant. There's the rumors about Bradley Beal being bought out and he supposedly having some suitors out there. So I think we're all waiting to see that shoe drop of Booker putting in a trade request. Well, much to the difference, he re signed, well, I guess extended for 2 more years at 145 million. So 72.5 million per for Devin Booker. And looking at the moves that they made with the Kevin Durant trade, the potential for Bradley Beal to be gone at some point. What will the Suns look like 2 years from now, and will it be any different to how they looked the past couple of years with this big three that they put together? Is there any reason for him to feel optimistic over the next 2 years in Phoenix? Okay. I mean, we've entered the Devin Booker, Jalen Green era. However that looks.
I don't think that's gonna work well.
Yeah. I, I mean, I feel like the questions are still there at point guard. Is is Jalen Green going to be a point guard? Like I feel like they're kind of continuing down this road of trying to force somebody who may not necessarily fit the role into point guard.
Jalen Green is kind of ball dominant.
I mean, Booker can play a little off the ball,
Booker
but
is ball dominant.
yes, but that's also out of like being forced to because the Beal at point guard experiment failed. So they tried Booker at point guard, and Booker is better at it than Beal, but you're kind of
The
taking
whole
away some of
thing is that
Booker's
that damn
effectiveness.
experiment was gonna fail.
Exactly, and Vogel lost his job for it. I mean, how dare he, speak up on his team's construction? But it's going on, Damien. Um, yeah. So I mean, would you would you say because moving off Durant and possibly moving off Beal, their future looks brighter for next season than it did if all three of them were coming back again?
Slightly,
Okay.
but they just made so many bad moves that
Mm-hmm.
franchise right now is a hot ass mess. They are a hot mess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm thinking that this is his way of saying y'all got 2 years to fix this crap.
Yeah. And depending where the cap is, I don't know what kind of contract he'll get after these 2 years. Because
You'll
I
get
guess at
one.
that, yeah, I mean at that point I think he'd be like 32. Which, if LeBron and some of these athletes are showing you, you can definitely play into your late 30s. Now,
If he stays
how
healthy,
Booker ages will be another thing. Yeah, what's going on, John?
if he stays healthy, then yeah.
Okay, yeah. So really quickly, yes, John, I saw you did tag me on that. I'd probably say, well, I'll probably talk about that on the ball, and maybe Jordan and I can touch on it next week, because John tagged me on something where somebody's comparing Justin Herbert to Peyton Manning their first 5 years.
Oh my God.
Yes, so like I said, maybe we'll touch on that next week about John Tuesday and
I
on the
gotta look
ball.
at some
We'll,
stats
we'll talk
before I
about
get mad.
the. So if I were to sit here and ask you, how different do you think the stats are between the two of them?
I don't think they're that much different.
They really are not.
But the thing is,
What's up, Trajan?
with Peyton Manning, you kind of knew that eventually he was gonna get there.
Yeah,
You don't see that with Herbert, because every time he get in the playoffs, it's him that folds. With Peyton Manning, he's had excuses.
yeah, okay, yeah, because well, both of them winless. I think Herbert is 0-3. Peyton was 0-2 in his first 5 years. And Peyton, I remember there was the one playoff loss against the Patriots where the Patriots secondary just handcuffed his wide receivers, which led to the kind of gradual move from physical play between the corners and wide receivers. I can't remember the second one. It might have been another Patriots loss, but yeah. Who had a better O line though? Definitely not Herbert. I mean, Peyton Manning did have Jeff Saturday in that group, which definitely helped him. But like I said, Jordan and I can definitely dive into that one next week because I'll send you the stats and everything. Let you do your analysis and all that. So, John, we will touch on that one next week. Let's see, Trajan. I enjoy the Bucks moves, not world moving, but a bunch of solid rotational pieces. Okay. I mean, how do you feel about the Bucks? Because Trajan in here, we'll talk about the Bucks. Trajan said Jordan Love over Herbert. Look, Jordan and I will do a quarterback list one of these weeks, so we'll see where Jordan Love and Herbert fall on ours. But yeah, the Bucks. What do you think about the Bucks where they swap out Brooke Lopez for Miles Turner? Which, when you hear the story behind that, it's kind of crazy that the Pacers had no idea Turner was going to walk out the door, and Turner's talking about he saw an opportunity and he jumped at it. So, uh, and he goes to a divisional rival, which is nuts. But uh, that's basically been their big move outside of the cutting of Damian Lillard, obviously. Trajan says, "Oh, are the Bucks signing Cole Anthony?"
That's a nice pickup.
So did Cole Anthony get bought out? Because Cole Anthony was in that trade to was it Memphis? Yeah, yeah, the Desmond Bain trade. Yeah, Cole Anthony was in that. Oh, okay. I I did not know he was getting bought out.
That's a nice pickup for them. They're getting younger.
I don't hate that. Okay.
Yes, I just hate the fact that they're about to start paying somebody a whole bunch of money to not play for them. That's stupid. That kind of whitewashes everything that they've done so far. I'm like, bruh,
So that's I think that's the question Bucks fans will want to know because we know with Giannis, which if you guys don't know, Giannis has turned into like a TikTok fiend at this point. Him and his wife, which I think is hilarious, seeing the two of them interact. And I've seen Giannis like doing some solo stuff. But if there were questions about Giannis' commitment to Milwaukee, do you think the moves that they've made should make him feel better about staying? Because I know that some fans think that he's still going to want out because they moved off of Dame Lillard, and why would they do that and all this kind of stuff and whatever. Like, how do you view the Bucks and Giannis and whether Giannis should stay?
I'm not gonna know how to feel about that until Giannis says something definitively and stop trying to troll and play with people's emotions and nerves. He's the type that loves to tap dance on people's spirits. He loves it.
I think all indications he's he's kind of let it known that obviously he had the message about he wanted to be back in the finals with the Bucks. But it's like you said, Giannis knows how to play the social media game, and he knows that anything he says, people are going to go crazy over. So Training says 100% proves they want to keep going at it and doing everything they can too. Yeah, Giannis. I mean, Jory and I see it all the time. Giannis loves messing with the media. I mean, look, Cole Anthony. I think the problem was Cole Anthony was in a crowded backcourt in Orlando. It could never really separate.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a backcourt where you had Cole Anthony, you had Jalen Suggs, you had KCP, you had I think guys who like went through there who aren't even there anymore, but like they were always kind of loaded at the guard position, and Cole Anthony just couldn't break through there. So now Milwaukee, he should have a better chance. Obviously, it's gonna be up to Doc and his rotations, and obviously, but I think it's a good pickup.
They're gonna force Zoc to get younger, so he's gonna have to either coach or be out of a job.
Yeah,
Either
and
change or
that's
be out of
key.
a job.
They because I talked to Trajan before, and I was like, the Bucks needed youth, and that's what they're doing. Miles Turner, 8 years younger than Brooke. They kept Porter and guys like that who are young players from last season. They kept them in the fold. And I think if Doc were smart, play more up tempo.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting younger for a reason. Play the speed game. Because we all know Giannis is as conditioned as anybody. And if you can make the game easier for Giannis, the better the Bucks will be next season.
And they got my boy Mark Sears.
Mm-hmm.
Don't waste his talent.
Once again, that's going to be on Doc. Doc and young players.
Talent.
Very sketchy pass with Doc.
I did not watch him grow up at Bama just to see Doc ruin him.
Right. Yeah. But they believe in Kuzma. Look, Kuzma is. So I think where you can eliminate some of the frustration with Kuzma is if you play fast, all you need Kuzma to do is be
Run.
in shape. That's it. That's all you need to do. Be in shape, run the wing, you know, take the occasional pass, lay it in, dunk it. Like that's what we need you to do. Just be focused.
Turn into
Get out of
Jackson.
get out of get out of the Washington Wizards culture. You're in Milwaukee. Milwaukee's trying to win.
Turn into Jackson Hayes. Nothing but cardio.
Hey, grab some rebounds, not lead the break, but get the break started, and Bucks fans will tolerate you at least.
Don't go making badass decisions and thinking that you just this sharpshooter and start
Mhm.
laying enough bricks to build a damn house.
Right.
And don't start all that weird ass dressing again.
I think that's who he is.
He needs
Yeah,
to
he
stop
can't help
that.
it. He's a fashion icon to some. I wouldn't be caught dead in any of that stuff, but you know. So you're not a fan, you're saying. All right.
Kuzma
Um,
shows what he was in Los Angeles.
yeah. I mean he had moments in LA. And I think for the Bucks, they're like, you would take that version over the Wizards like complacent form and now what he was last season, where the rebounds were low, scoring was minimal most nights. Like you move on from Damian Lillard, you need like Kuzma just has to be like a 15 point per game scorer, bare minimum, and Bucks fans will not care. Wisconsin fans don't play. Just ask Brett Favre. Okay.
Everybody from
Now
the
David did
Midwest.
say he was more shocked the Bucks didn't fire Doc yet than he is about Lillard. That's the
I'm
thing.
not messing with anybody from the Midwest.
Yeah.
They're
Uh, mhm. Midwest work ethic. They yes. Midwest fans, they root for guys who play hard and all that. If you start loafing around, they'll turn on you. Now, Traden says they're trying to be the new Pacers with youth and athleticism. I think a lot of teams are going to try to be
we've been asking them to do that for how many years?
right, but I think look, we know how these teams operate. Until they see like a set, maybe like a couple of years or so, where a team like that is successful, a lot of these teams are stubborn. So because the Pacers are doing that, the Thunder even probably a little bit less, but at least the Thunder do it. Now teams are looking at pace, space. Look, Celtics fan, I listened to Brad Stevens talk about it draft night, where he said their draft board was based off of playing faster. So if that's where the league's gonna turn, I think it makes for a better product. I feel like even casual fans would appreciate up and down game and all that. So the Pacers have become kind of the staple, the measuring stick. If that's what it gets to turn teams like the Bucks around, then fine. They need someone to show them the way. Yeah. Damien says, "Thank God Lonzo's gone."
He
Well,
needs to cut out all that cutting up ish on Instagram before he blow out his knee again.
yeah. Well, I mean, Damien, you got Isaac Okoro in the deal. Would love to know how you feel about him. John says, "Will we see VJ Edgecombe this summer or hold him out?" He played the first game. That might be the last time we see him. I don't know. Actually, no. I think he'll play one more game this summer.
But Bronny's playing in the summer.
Somebody asked about Bronny. I think I missed that comment.
He's getting better. Next.
So John asked thoughts on Cooper Flag, thoughts on Bronny so far. So go back to that. Like you said, so you said Bronny's improving. I think Bronny defensively can earn minutes on the court. Still have some questions about him offensively, but I feel like JJ. You brought in JJ to put together a system to benefit all the players. So I think that there is a world where Bronny can give you some type of production consistently offensively. But the way he's going to make his name is on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the problem with that is he is kind of undersized a little bit, so some matchups aren't going to work for him, but he'll compete on that end, I think at least. So, I mean, the problem still is that LeBron's around, so it's going to make it so much tougher on him because of the pressure in the name.
The problem is they won't let his ass sit in the G League and play in the G League.
That's also a problem. Yeah. Bronny looks more comfortable. Still say he's a 9 to 11 point average player. And you can make a good living in the NBA averaging 9 to 11. Because if he brings you defense consistently, yeah, he'll be fine. Bulls aren't winning anything, so, well, I mean, yeah, there. Yeah, no. Bulls probably need to wipe out that front office first before they could really do anything. But
Yep.
I mean, stick by them, Damian, because when they finally break through, it'll feel so much better. But how about Cooper Flag? First
I
game,
I
not
like
good.
what I see, but I need to see a little bit more.
Yeah,
He'll get better though.
yeah. First game, he pressed a lot. Second game, he allowed the game to come to him, and he dropped what 37, if I
Mm-hmm.
remember correctly.
He might
So
not play again. So
yeah, only thing Chicago's got going for them is the Cubs this year.
and the
No,
Bears.
the Bears are giving them optimism. But the Cubs, yeah, Cubs would probably be your best shot at a title in Chicago this year.
Yeah, don't expect anything from the White Sox, but a hot mess.
No. Wait, is Damien a White Sox fan? I feel like I've asked you this, Damien. Are you a White Sox fan or a Cubs fan?
And I
Or
find that that really is depending on what side of Chicago you're from.
yep, we need a lot of alcohol once basketball season starts. Okay.
You and me both, because I don't know what the hell the Lakers are doing.
Mm-hmm. Look, maybe this is the LeBron farewell year. You got that.
He just signed it. I think I got at least 2 more years of his old ass taking up a roster spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I,
He might push it to 3.
South Side. So he's a White Sox fan because Cubs are the North Side.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, okay. I mean, look. To be honest with you, Damien, I'm a Boston sports fan. There was a long period where Boston teams were nothing but losers. So all it
I
takes
used
is
to be an
a
Atlanta
couple
sports
of
fan.
smart decisions.
I used to be an Atlanta sports fan.
Yeah,
What
with
what what
just the
do
Braves.
I need to tell you anything else?
Yeah, the Braves
From
have
the
been
Hawks,
carrying Atlanta sports for since the '90s.
from the Hawks to the damn Falcons. I'm glad I switched.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
Um,
glad I'm glad I picked my own team for once.
mhm, yeah, look, that's what fandom is about. You have your team. You got to deal with
I'd
the
rather
great
deal with
years,
the
playoffs. You
Titans
got
and
to deal
their
with those bad
foolishness.
years.
I'd rather deal with the Titans and their foolishness than deal with the damn Falcons putting the fans through the exact same type of bull crap in different font
Hmm.
every single year.
Yeah. Oh, Damien. Damien used to be a Cubs fan. So what made you switch from the Cubs? Well, I know the Cubs went through that long period of not winning. Obviously, you weren't around for all those years. I mean, the White Sox did have a good run, like Frank Thomas, Paul Konerko, and the White Sox. No, they had a couple of playoff appearances. They didn't have like a World Series or anything, but I guess okay. I guess I could see that maybe. I mean, maybe you could literally switch back to the Cubs and people probably wouldn't know. Don't want to be a bandwagon jumper, I guess, too many times. But actually, getting back because we were talking about extensions and then got off a little bit. The Thunder. The Thunder have established their core going forward now with extensions signed with SGA, uh, Jalen Williams, and Chet Holmgren. Now they have three guys who will be making max money, although Williams and Holmgren are making like the rookie max, while SGA is making the super max. It's basically, SGA is making a lot more than those two. Yes, RIP Bobby Jenks. He pitched for the Red Sox for a year or two as well. Um, that that was tough to see. He was young, dealt with some issues, but what do you think about the Thunder locking up those three? Um, how many more titles do you think they could get out of them? And do you think they may have overpaid for any of the three? Oh, what's going on, Mo? As Mo put, Williams and Holmgrens don't kick it until next year. SGA is not until 2027. So they've obviously pushed them out a
25.
little bit.
I give them until 2028 until they have to start making business decisions.
I mean, do you think I mean, I feel like their plan is to navigate with those three making big money and then the billions of draft picks that they have, kind of
Mhm.
reworking the chess pieces around those three. I mean, I feel like that's probably the smartest way to do it with the NBA. Because look, the cap will go up every year, so you have a little bit more to kind of play with around those three in terms of like money to give out. But in terms of like big signings and anything like that, it's probably just going to be with those three and then under the radar guys who kind of come in, fill
Mhm.
roles around them, and see how much success they can get going about it that way.
I agree.
And I kind of think that's the way you're gonna have to do it. So no more necessarily like the free agency built big three where you're signing these big guys to these bloated contracts. It's going to be draft, establish your young group, build them up, and then yeah. Look, I don't know. Like the NBA, it's a new era. Like we went through the big three era, which depending on who you
What
talk
did
to,
Bruno
whether it was great
lose?
or not. Then we went to like a short little duo era,
Mhm.
and now I think we might be in like the draft era because now
The
you
build a
can't like
balanced
waste
team
bottom of the first
era.
round picks or second round picks. Like you have to actually start drafting guys who can play.
The build a balanced team era. This is
Yeah,
what I like to call the how to
I like that.
properly
We'll go.
build a
Yeah,
basketball team.
yeah.
We went from stacking superstars to actually going back to the basics and building a fundamentally sound and thorough basketball team. And I'm loving it. That's the one thing I don't like about LeBron James. He started all of this ring chasing BS.
No, remember, it's not about ring chasing. The ring
He
chasing's
should shut his
ruining.
lying ass up because yes, it is.
I mean,
Man,
it's look, it's the hypocritical nature about LeBron that just
he's a
that's
liar.
fascinating to
He's
me.
a liar. He is a flat out freaking liar. This is the same person that tells us that he reads books, but every time he posts a picture with a goddamn book, it's always on the first goddamn page. How many words per minute do you read? It must be -1. Because why?
But
He gets on my nerve with that.
it's also part of that why fans in general can kind of shape the stuff that he does. Because remember, people clowned him for that. We never saw him do it again. It was one and done with it.
Or you're lip syncing the words to a song that you don't damn know.
Last time we saw him do that too.
No, it's not. He's done it multiple
Oh
times.
yeah, you're right.
That
You're right. Well,
the
that was
book
hard.
thing too.
That was, he has. I can't remember the book thing outside of that. I mean, I just haven't been paying attention that like that to him. Uh,
Just a liar. A no good stinking liar. If he was a
he's
Pinocchio, his damn nose would be 6 foot long by now.
he's
Like,
a media manipulator. That's what he is. Which I've said, if there's one thing you want to know that Kyrie learned from, Kyrie does it too, on a smaller scale. But most of I love LeBron and won't tolerate any slander.
Cap, you ready for him to be off the Lakers just as much as I am?
Damien said, hate to say this, but OKC might be the new dynasty. I think the way we view dynasties going forward will have to change a little bit, but they're definitely set up to be one, for sure. Browns rookie running back just got arrested for domestic violence in Florida. Well, I mean, that's something that have to look more into that. But let's look.
That's a
And
Tucker just
any off season, these athletes get wild. They don't. Some of them just can't be quiet. Just chill, lay low till the season starts, and then you get back into playing all that. So yeah, that's a story. Probably have to look
like all the
into
things that's
details of it.
wrong. I think about it. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about it. I'm just sitting here stewing. All the
Mm-hmm.
things that's wrong and I complain about with damn basketball. King damn James started it.
So I'm assuming flopping
Yes.
the super team slash ring chase culture. Although people say the super team thing started with Pierce, Garnett, Ray Allen, I still say they were older, so I think it's a little bit more tolerable. But then, if you look before that, Barkley, Pippen, was it Drexler, met up in Houston, but they're all later in
Wanna
their
forget
career
the
too.
whole I'm taking my talents to South Beach. Shut the hell up and just go sign in
Didn't they just
Miami.
have like the 15-year anniversary of that?
I don't give a damn. Look,
I think so, but I, I was just saying. Oh man, I remember watching that and just going like, could y'all just drag this on any longer?
I'm taking my talents to South Beach, just wasting the television company's money. We didn't need you didn't need to pay for TV time to say that shit. Excuse me. Um,
uh, I,
everything
yeah.
that's wrong with basketball that just really irks my
Mhm.
nerves. It started with his blob faced ass. It started with him. The flopping, the crying to the refs, the foul seeking,
Yeah, I mean,
this whole theatrical movements of teams. He
hmm
did it, and then KD did it, and then other people just decided to just start doing it.
hmm
He
yeah.
started this, and then he wanted to. Now he wants to complain about some of it, and that's why I get mad. I'm like, why are you? Shut the hell up! You started it. You and your decisions.
I mean, look, when LeBron does retire, these will all be part of the things that write his NBA story. I think some people will try to push some of that down to obviously talk more about the scoring record and all this kind of stuff. But if you want to just talk about his impact, some of that impact has been negative, and
When they
it,
write
it
his
has to be
story,
talked about.
that the front of the cover of the book should be him doing this
Hmm.
and flopping.
Yeah, that that should be the statue in front of. I'm assuming Cleveland's going to give him a statue.
I mean, when I saw that, I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
You know, it's going to be a
Either
question.
your acting is bad or you're really being really toddlerish. That and that damn foul call where he just threw a freaking fit and just
Hmm. Yeah,
I'm like,
I'm just telling you, get ready for that conversation. Should LA put a statue of him?
No.
I'm telling you, it's coming. That one, because I feel like I said, Cleveland will do it. I don't think there's a chance Miami does it. At least as long as like Pat Riley's still up there, I doubt that happens. But LA, I'm just saying. Dave says can't wait to see MJ roast LeBron on TV. I actually don't think that's gonna happen
I'll do it.
because MJ is supposed to be part of the NBC broadcast. Now we don't know what his role necessarily is. That's what I'm waiting to see because we saw Amazon Prime put out their role with their NBA crew, and I'm like, I I don't have a problem with it. Like
I'll sit on
Carmelo's going to be in
national
the
television.
studio.
Hairline.
Hmm?
I'll sit on national television and roast his bald ass. He's bald. He just don't want to accept the fact.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, maybe Jordan takes like subtle shots, maybe, but my hope is Amazon Prime and NBC don't fall into the pitfalls of that ESPN fell into, where they just took all the NBA coverage and funneled it down to Golden State, LeBron, Lakers, Kevin Durant. Do not do that, please. Like, highlight young stars, highlight the teams that don't get talked about. Because we talked about it all last year. How come they never talk about the Rockets? They never talked about the Pistons. They barely talked about the Cavs. Like, just just don't do that. And I think they're gonna. I mean, believe that NBC is gonna do like their Sunday night basketball show, like Sunday Night Football. I think Sunday Night Football, pretty good program. I would love to see them do their NBA version of that. But just Maria Taylor will probably factor into that. But um, yeah, I mean, once again, I guess to wrap up the NBA extensions.
I did not mean to go on that bad of a
No, it's
LeBron.
all right. Look, you and the people who watch, we love to let the chat kind of uh, take us on tangents. We definitely love that.
I
Um,
retire. Go home. Go sit on your couch. Watch your son play. And ride off into the sunset with all your damn flowers that you've already received.
mhm. Well, obviously, the next thing's going to be. Well, actually, we'll touch on that later because yeah, the whole other part of this LeBron thing. We'll talk about that later. Let's go top 10 defenses. So, as I said at the top, Jory and I, big NFL fans. We're obviously big NBA fans, but now the NBA season is far enough in the rearview mirror that we can actually focus on next season in the NFL. We're going to start our little series of kind of predictions and preview for next year with top 10 defenses. Like everybody starts their quarterbacks, we wanted to be different, starting the other side of the ball. So, I guess, how do you want to do this? I guess we'll start at the bottom and work our way to one. Build the intrigue, obviously.
Yes.
So I guess we'll just kind of go back and forth with who do you have at whatever, and if you have like a reasoning for it.
Disclaimer.
Hmm?
Disclaimer. This is my list. I will argue with you over my list.
Oh yeah, yeah. Look, those of you tuning in should know that this is our opinion, our honest opinion. We're not trying to rage bait or clickbait or anything like that. This is how we honestly feel. Who do you have at 10?
I have Kansas City.
Okay.
I like what I know they have Spagnolo. Chris Jones isn't getting any younger. And I saw there was a couple of times I saw that touch push was wearing on them.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna have to worry about that. Um, and the impact of that ass whooping that they received,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing the type of talent that they have, I can't put them any lower than 10, but I can't put them any higher either.
Okay.
Do I feel like at the end of the year could they be higher than that? Yes, but am I willing to do that right now? No.
Okay, that's fair. Also, I will, I guess, put together some graphic for our lists, or we'll each create one for ours or something like that, and we'll put it up on Tumblr or WordPress or our Discord as well. So just to let you know, 10-eyed Buffalo. I want the Bills. I think their pass rush. You have like Greg Rousseau. They drafted Dayon Dayon Walker from Kentucky, who I think can be kind of a force up the middle. Where they had Ed Oliver all these years, but Ed Oliver is getting older. I think their linebacking group, as long as Matt Milano stays healthy, because we know how important Matt Milano is to that defense. I feel like the front seven, gives you a lot of reasons to put him in your top 10. Now the secondary, I feel like their secondary is probably a little unproven, but I feel like there's definitely a path to them improving where, you draft Max Hairston out of Kentucky as well. So you feel like he's probably going to get one of the starting corner spots. And by getting him, Taron Johnson can move into the slot where I feel like he's better. So I think Buffalo defensively will still cause some problems, especially with that front seven and their ability to get after opposing quarterbacks. So who's your number 9?
The Vikings.
Okay.
I've loved their additions. They had a pretty good defense last year too, so
Mm-hmm.
it's just sometimes Sam Darnold went full Sam Darnold, and that happened. I love
Mm-hmm.
the addition of Jonathan Allen. Um they drafted well defensively this year as well. Love their picks. Um and Flores. He's still there.
Yeah.
So I feel like they'll be able to take a step forward, especially when it comes to stopping the run and getting to the passer. You have
Mm-hmm.
your veterans on the defensive line to combine with some of that youth. I do feel like they could use a little bit more as far as linebackers are concerned. But I feel like they're pretty well built. They'll be all right.
Okay. 9, I went with Kansas City for a lot of the reasons that you said. The only thing I'll add is, Spagnuolo's does a really good job with that defense. I did, and then also, like you said, because of how last season ended, I wouldn't be surprised if he, comes in really motivated to turn that group around and gets them to play much better. But yeah, I I feel like they have to be in the top 10 because of Spagnuolo at least. But Chris Jones still performing really well at his advanced age, but like you said, he's getting older, and I think they did draft someone to give him some relief. So you might get like a fresher version of Chris Jones for even longer, which would make them even better. And I think that's going to be that's obviously going to be their strength to pressure up the middle, and they're really good against the run. So if they can stop the run, then forces you to be one dimensional, which then really gets Spagnuolo going where he can get into like coverage blitzes and all that kind of stuff. So I got Kansas City at 9. Who do you have at 8?
The Packers.
I have the Packers at 8 as well.
Because it's like I love, like, people forget to close out last year, they were one of the best defenses in the league. And they've gotten younger, kept guys, brought in some new ones. I do. I don't think they're gonna miss Jair very much.
Mm-hmm.
Is that if you really pay attention to the Packers, that secondary room, it's kind of loaded. They have talent.
Mm-hmm.
If you notice with the Packers, the secondary usually isn't the problem with them. It's getting consistency along the defensive line. And I feel like they figured out how to get that at the beginning of towards the end of last year, and they've improved on it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why they're at 8 for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the once again things that you said as well, and I'm trying to think if there's a player you. No, I think you highlighted all the players from Green Bay. So yeah, I'll just ditto what you said. All right, 7.
Give me the Lions.
I have the Lions at 7 too. Okay, no, hey,
Twins.
it just works out that way.
Um, I feel like they're still going to be good stout defense, but I do feel like there has been turnover, and I will account for that. That's the only reason why they're not going to be top 5 is because of the turnover.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take them a couple of weeks to get their bearings with the new coordinator and new pieces and everything. But the Lions, we for the past 2 seasons, we know that the Lions are ready to go right now. So I do foretell a slight drop off, but not really.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm at 7. Obviously, we know Aiden Hutchinson. Um, who's the other man on the D line? I just blanked on his name. DJ Reader. That's who it is.
Yes.
They got him. They lost Carlton Davis, but they got DJ Reed from the Jets, and I think DJ Reed is a really good corner that kind of got caught up in whatever the Jets defense kind of devolved into last season.
Sauce
They also,
Gardner and the quintuplets.
yeah, they got Brian Branch on the back end. I mean, Brian Branch, obviously watching him, that good young safety, and just feel like at every level of their defense, they have guys who play really solidly. Linebackers got Jack Campbell, Anzalone, not the biggest names, but they
They're
put up a
good.
lot of numbers. So, and I think look, you still have Dan Campbell, so the defensive philosophy won't change too much.
Oh.
Train said, "Cover your crack. The pack is back." Um, so yeah, Trey, I'm sure you're paying attention. We both have the Packers as our number 8 defense for next season. All right, so we both have the Lions at 7. I know 6 will be different. So who do you have at 6?
The Rams.
Okay, I don't have the Rams at 6.
I love it. Kobe Turner. Um, dude, Byron, what's his face? There is two Byrons. There was one that plays for the Rams, and there's one that plays for the Seahawks. I'm talking about the one that plays for the
Murphy.
Rams.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
I get Byron Young and Byron Murphy switched up all the
Mm-hmm.
time.
Yeah, Murphy is Seahawks, young Rams. Yeah.
I'm talking about Byron Young then. I love him. It's like Aaron Donald kind of did put his influence into that defensive line room. And that is something that I the coaches should very much appreciate. But yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
like what the Rams defense looks like. I like their linebackers. I thought they were gonna go get Jalen Ramsey, even though I don't
Mm-hmm.
think they need a Jalen Ramsey. Verse, I was thinking about Verse too. I meant to mention him. I love Verse.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Rams are gonna be very underrated. They went underrated last year,
Mm-hmm.
and I called that one. I was
Yeah.
right about that one.
Mm-hmm. No, look, as Trey just said, Jared Verse is fantastic. Like he established already that he is a elite pass rusher in this league. And look, if you have an elite pass rusher, that can cover up for a lot defensively and make your defense look better. So I think it's a solid pick there. 6, I went with Minnesota. I feel like I'm swaying a lot because of Brian Flores and his his game plan, the way that he kind of uses the pieces that he has, I'm giving them a lot of credit for that. You brought up bringing in Jonathan Allen. They also brought in Javon Hargrave as well. So, they made some upgrades to the defensive line. Last season, I believe they were fourth in the league in pass rush win rate and in stopping the run. So I wouldn't see a reason for it to necessarily drop off that much this year. So that's why I put them up at 6. All right, now we're into our top 5. So who do you have at 5?
I regret putting them up there, but the Houston Texans,
Okay.
they had a very good defense last year. The one thing about the Texans that I kind of worry about at times is their discipline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Them and another team that's on this list in my top 5 that I did not want to put there. But because we pride ourselves on being logical and not letting our blind hatred for certain teams um cloud our judgment, and
Absolutely.
and we try to be unbiased, I had to put them in my top 5. But we're not gonna go there. But y'all already know what team I'm talking about. Um,
Right.
I love what the tech. I can't say I love what the Texans are doing, but I do know that D'Amico Ryans is a good coach. Will Anderson is in his prime.
Yeah. No, Trey said he doesn't let his personal hatred for a team cloud his judgment because he said the Bears suck no matter what.
I'm still gonna get my zingers in, but
Yeah. Um, so 5, I went with a team that I'm assuming you don't have this high, Seattle Seahawks. And I went with them because, look, Mike McDonald, not Mike McDaniel.
you know how you feel about that one.
Exactly. I feel the same way. He built up kind of the Baltimore system. He's taken that out to Seattle. They re signed Ernest Jones, who's their guy in the middle at the linebacking position that is very, very much a big playmaker for them. The back end, you have like Devin Witherspoon. They added Demarcus Lawrence, who I think will bolster the defensive front as well. And the guy that you mentioned, Byron Murphy, I think had an up and down season next year. So if obviously McDonald can get him, well, McDonald and his staff get him to have like that second year jump, I think the defense could surprise some people this year. So got them
There's my
at
honorable
5.
mentions.
Oh, they made John. Okay. Who you have at 4?
But the offense is a mess, but they can hit on some damn draft picks
Mm-hmm.
on the defensive end. I'm talking about the Giants.
Okay.
You have Thibodeau. You have what is homeboy that looked like Michael Parsons that went Abdul Carter.
Mm-hmm.
Him and
Brian
Michael kind of
Burns.
look alike.
Yeah.
They look alike. You can't tell me that he don't look like a Timu Micah.
I mean, look, it's definitely how Penn State used them. So.
Um, they have the secondary. Who else was I thinking about on that defense? They made a couple of moves this offseason that I kind of like.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think about it right now, but when I do, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the Giants had a good defense last year.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, they were on the field all the goddamn time.
Yeah. Oh, they got
That being said,
didn't they get Javon Holland from Miami?
yes, it was Holland, and I was thinking about Dexter Lawrence.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, yeah.
I can't forget about his memorable self.
Yeah.
That Giants defense is stacked. I think they're gonna do perform very well. Can if Russell Wilson comes out the gate not playing well, stick Johnson. Just go ahead and just stick Dart in and cut this out.
I mean,
Dayball, you're gonna get
still got
fired at the end of
Reverend,
the season
got
anyway.
Reverend Jameis.
I don't want to see from Jameis Winston. Go preach. Go to Bible school, get ordained, and go preach.
Uh, Jameis Winston's post NFL career is going to be legendary. I think that guy is going to be so many places that you're just gonna wonder why he even decided to waste time on an NFL career. Like, yeah. Um, four. I went with Baltimore at four, and kind of like you said, look, Joy and I love during the NFL season to do nothing but poke fun at Baltimore, but we're obviously not gonna sit here and deny the talent on that side of the ball with them. They draft Malachi Starks out of Georgia, which, to be honest with you, I was kind of surprised he was there for them to take. So now you're pairing him up with Kyle Hamilton, who they can hopefully let Hamilton be a safety. By the end of last season, Hamilton was like a glorified linebacker,
Yeah, because
and
Roquan needed help in the middle of the goddamn
yeah,
field so goddamn much.
yeah, and I get it. Hamilton can do that, but I feel like that takes away. I feel like that's something that should be like a certain packages you throw him down there. But like I said, it got to the point where he was like basically just a linebacker, and they're good against the run, which obviously make your team one dimensional. That's obviously going to be a win for you. A question, obviously, like you said, the linebackers and pass coverage wasn't great last year. That's where teams are going to attack them. And Matabike, you had a good season to get the contract. You weren't all that good last year until like a little jump at the end of the year. I think Baltimore's going to need you to step up and go back to the contract year version. And that would obviously help the defense a little bit more. So I got Baltimore as my number four. All right, so now we're in the top three. So
I'm not
who's
even
your
gonna
number
waste my
three?
time. You said everything I just needed. I was about to
Okay,
say.
so you got Baltimore at three. Okay.
Okay. I'm not
Um,
going to sit here and glaze them. I'm not
yeah,
going to. I hate them. I hope they fail out in flamboyant fashion. I hope they get. I hope they don't make the playoffs. Because if
yeah.
they don't make the playoffs, everybody's gonna run around with a like a chicken with their head with their heads cut off,
Mhm.
panicking. Oh, what was the issue now? Dumbass, your quarterback is not a playoff quarterback, and your coach needs to go.
There you go. All right, so before we continue with our top three, those of you watching, seems like a good amount of you. Appreciate all of you in the chat. Those of you who haven't maybe joined the conversation, feel free to do so. We do love that with you all. But as you see at the bottom, like, share, tag followers greatly help out. Obviously, subscribing or following wire to wire or wherever you're checking this out helps as well. I put the Houston Texans at three. That's a little bit higher than you had them. D'Amico Ryan's obviously is a big part of that. I think for them, you look at their pass rushing duo of Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson. So they get after the quarterback. Then on the back end, you have Stingley and Lassiter. I believe Petrie comes back in the secondary as well. So I think they got you covered there. We know with a certain linebacker can be a little undisciplined, but I just think that you have those two up front. I think they're going to cause a lot of problems. And Stingley is obviously a really good young corner, so that's why I put them up at number three. I feel like one and two we probably have the same. So who do you have at two?
The Eagles.
I have the Eagles as well. Yeah.
Look, I know they've had a lot of turnover, But Howie Roseman is a goddamn musician.
Mm-hmm.
I mean magician,
Mm-hmm.
and he know how to make that crap work. Fangio got that team right,
Yep.
the defense right. We could see a little bit of a drop off early in the season, but by mid season that team will be by full form in full form. They'll lose a game they shouldn't lose, and Eagles fans will go absolutely berserk.
It'll probably happen in the division.
Yeah, if they lose to the Giants, I'm not even gonna predict that. Um, they'll lose a game they shouldn't lose. The Eagles fans will go berserk, and then they'll just go start rolling them off.
Yeah.
That's usually what happens with the Eagles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I
Once the
mean,
fans start getting all raw,
yeah. But
they
I mean,
turn it
look,
around.
cities like Philadelphia and some of them up north, it's when you don't play well, the obviously players obviously will say that, oh, we don't pay attention to sports radio. They do. And
What's up,
cities like
Gene? I
Phil,
was just talking about
yeah,
your
what's going on, Gene? Yeah,
co-host.
Gene, we're doing top 10 NFL defenses for next year. Jory and I both have your Eagles at number two. I'm sure you'll sit. Yeah, okay, Gene,
Yes,
there you
they
go.
care,
Cities that care.
and they
I
show their care.
Yes, I'm in Atlanta now. The Falcons could stink. You'll never hear about them. They'll talk Georgia football.
As
And
soon as the Saints come in town, here we go.
yes, they'll talk Saints week because Saints fans show up and talk trash themselves, which is
The
kind of
Saints
funny.
fans live here.
But I was saying, like, it's funny. Both teams could be terrible, but Saints Falcons week, you would swear Super Bowl's on the line with like the lines being drawn in the sand. And I think that is a fascinating thing. But outside of that, if the Falcons are not playoff contention, you never hear Falcons fans talk about them. They move on to the next thing. So as Gene said,
Talk about any other team but their own.
mm-hmm. But it's like as Gene said, if you're in Philly, you're in Boston. If the team stinks, fans live with that, and they spend their waking moment just calling and telling everybody why you stink, who needs to go, who needs to be fired. And I still listen to Boston sports radio down here because of it. I can't get away from it. Like go to Boston and rock a Yankees hat. Watch the conversations fly.
Oh, good luck, cause that I'm not doing that. I already dead ass wouldn't be walking around Boston after 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Dead
When
ass,
the
I
Eagles
wouldn't be doing
lose
that.
when the Eagles lose cities at present for 2 to 3 days is wild. Yeah.
Yeah, and when the Falcons lose, people get drunk. They get a few speeding tickets. Traffic is horrible, and then by the next day, they're talking about the Braves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's
Like that.
that's the yeah, that's sports in the US. The South, it's South like okay, Bulldog fans in the South, they care. I'll give them that. Bulldogs fans, they live and die with their team.
They're
The other
ridiculous.
sports teams just jump on the Bulldogs when they're good because that's the closest team in the city right now to winning it all and winning a championship.
Other than
Outside
the
the Braves a
Braves.
little bit, but with the Braves having a bit of a down season. So yeah, that wasn't I didn't wasn't rubbing that in your face. But yeah, so Gene, Jory and I have the Eagles at two. Like I said, Vic Fangio, um, the young corners. You got DeJean and Mitchell. Another year, you'll see some development. They got Zach Bond, your guy Jahad Campbell. So yeah, fully expect the Eagles to still be there. Okay, Damien. Damien with the jokes. I see you, Damien. So then number one, both have the Broncos, I assume.
Yes.
There we go. I think that's not a bad list. Well, I mean, I
Uh,
guess your reason for the Broncos at one.
I love their secondary. Excuse the third host has to make her appearance. I
Hi,
love the
Bella.
secondary. I
Hmm.
love what they did along the defensive line.
And they brought in Hafanga
I
and
love how they
Reese.
brought in Hufanga.
Yeah,
And what else? They brought in another former 49er too.
Greenlaw.
Yes. Denver plays this physical brand of football that I love,
Hmm.
and they respect their team, and I'm not really mad at it. And Gene, I get it. The one thing I could say is that after 28-3, you couldn't mention the Falcons for a damn month.
Yeah, that was probably the most, especially in an off season, that you really heard people kind of,
They let loose.
yeah.
They cut up.
Hmm.
How many times you turn on 680 the fan and you heard somebody just ripping somebody, ripping a new one?
Yeah, especially like that week after. Yeah, it was crazy. Like everybody hated um Freeman for missing the block. They hated McDaniels for not McDaniels. What am I talking about? No, Shanahan for his play calling. They couldn't stand Dan Quinn for not stepping in and stopping the nonsense. They couldn't stand Tom Brady being the one who did it. Like it was,
They turned on Matt Ryan.
that was the one I felt bad about because I like Matt Ryan, and there's so many Falcons fans just never gave him a chance until last year, where they're like Matt Ryan retirement ceremony. Everyone's like, "Oh, we love you, Matt Ryan." It's like, no, you
Because
didn't.
y'all called his ass Noodle Arm Matt, Matty Fluff,
Yeah,
and all this other stuff while he was in Atlanta.
yeah. Gene said had a full crash out after 22-23. Oh yeah, that's the yeah Eagles Chiefs with the holding call at the end. Okay, yeah, yeah. Had to quickly
I
remember
remember that. You went
that.
MIA for about 2 days.
I mean, that's what
That is
sports
a
fan. That's what
passionate
it's supposed to be
city.
about.
That is a passionate city.
Yeah.
Not a city that is fair weather until things go catastrophically wrong, and then you want to say something.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all
But
care week in and week out.
right. But fortunately, southern cities, because Miami, not a great sports city for the same reasons. Like you'll watch Heat games, crowds coming in late, leave early, they sit on their hands and all that. Like no. Like I was just watching like the Red Sox last night for the season that they had. Place was packed. You know, crowd standing up when Rafael hit the walk off home run, but like the pop, you would have thought it was October. We're in the middle of July. I remember the 17-year-old cried after Philly versus Tampa. See, that's the like remembering stuff like that, time stamping it and everything. That's what being a sports fan in the North is like.
You know how I was
Like,
done with the Falcons? That's a 28-3 is how I realized I was really done with the Falcons. Because usually when I'm emotionally invested into a team and they
mm-hmm.
lose on some BS like that, I cry. I didn't cry.
I,
But you know when I did
yeah.
cry? Is when Ryan Tannehill threw 3 damn picks in a damn AFC championship game where we had 9 damn sacks. I
Mm-hmm.
cried myself to sleep.
Still hate Joe Juravicious. How many conversations are you having about football and Joe Juravicious is coming up? But that's what sports do. They they become a part of who you are, and stories like that, like Gene's talking about a game in 2002. You still remember the wide receiver that did it to you. You remember the quarterback and everything like that. It's just yeah,
I
nothing
hate
better.
the Bengals
Well, there you go.
for that reason
Mm-hmm.
and that smug ass quarterback. I don't hate them as I hate the Ravens. But when we play the Bengals, I'm like, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Every time we play the Bengals, that game just flashes in my head.
Mm-hmm.
Talk
Yeah.
about trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Now last year was rough.
McNabb throwing directly to Rondé Barber. Yeah.
Now sitting through a 3-win season last year, that was rough.
Yeah. And look, you could have you could have sat there and done like some fans would have, jumped off the bandwagon and joined a new team. But look, you're sticking around. You're looking forward to next season,
Yeah, because we got
feeling
Cam
some
Ward, and I don't want
optimism.
Will Levis.
I mean, yes, but you know,
Uh-uh.
you'll get some Will Levis in the preseason. You know that.
How can I not like Joe Burrow? He robbed my team of a damn Super Bowl. What are we talking about?
Yeah. I mean, look, your hatred, we'll say, for Joe Burrow is different than necessarily your dislike for Lamar Jackson. Like they're two different.
I respect Joe Burrow as a quarterback.
Yeah.
He's a great quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I can't see past that damn game.
Yeah.
And
Look.
it haunts me every time.
Mm-hmm. So, Gene,
Every
say
time.
what fans am I speaking of? Look. It's not even necessarily fans. Like I was listening to, was it Amir El Hassan, the guy from ESPN, who's like the NBA guy, and he did an interview and told a story about how he grew up. They said he grew up a Knicks fan, but he said he jumped to the Bulls because the Bulls became good with Michael Jordan and the Knicks stunk. So why would he ever be a fan of the Knicks? And I was like, why wouldn't you though? Because once the Knicks, I mean, if they ever break through, you feel so much better about it. Like I sat there. I mean, obviously, I wasn't around for all 86 years of the Red Sox curse, but when they broke the curse because of how much I heard people talk about it, it was a big deal in the city. And I celebrated with them the same way because it was like they finally broke through, and it was like, yeah, you can't look at them as just losers at any time. From reading everything, don't do it every day. Read the caps. Oh, yes, that's the fan. I got you. I got you. Yeah. Yeah. The biggest bandwagon, obviously, the LeBron fans who went from the Heat and joined him all over the place. Like,
You missed the
I
LeBron rant, Gene.
oh yes, I mean, I might have another one coming up because yeah, there's some reports about him that we're definitely going to talk about. So
That skull shaped man, he getting on my damn nerves.
right, Damien talked about the NFL arbitration agreement. I feel like, I don't know if you read about that. We could save that for next week. Listen back
No
tomorrow
way.
morning. Hey, appreciate that, Gene. So basically, the NFL. Oh, going to softball. Okay. Well, I guess have fun.
Have fun.
Um,
I did want to
player-
get into my honorable mentions.
yeah. But I was saying, like, because Damon brought up, like, the Players Association and the NFL keeping their collusion findings a secret. Like I said, we'll talk about that next week. Yeah. Honorable mentions. Who do you have?
The Chargers.
Okay. I have them too.
I do have the Bears.
Quinshon Judkins is done.
Browns rookie.
Oh, yeah. Because Damien said that rookie running back. Yeah. Uh, that's, yeah.
Sucks to be him.
Mm-hmm.
Damien, I have your Bears here.
Mm-hmm.
They had a good defense. Just sometimes they just stay like a lot of like my team, which is also in my honorable mentions.
Mm-hmm.
And I am gonna put my team on a little pedestal here. Quick, like, people act like we don't have talent. I have talent.
Mm-hmm.
There's talent on that roster. That defensive line. Can you not burrow while I'm trying to? Um, that defensive line with Sweat, Simmons, Coburn, Key being a middle linebacker. They are getting better.
Mm-hmm.
The secondary is actually pretty damn good if you ask me. The problem with my Titans is last year they stayed on the field too long
Mm-hmm.
because you had Mr. Mayonnaise Man doing stupid shit and throwing balls in the triple covers in the triple coverage and doing a surrender stink on his damn knees in the middle of a goddamn play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, I get what you're saying because you're hoping more competent play from Cam Ward keeps the defense fresher. Yeah. I mean, I feel like you said,
We do need
they
to
have
add.
talent.
I think they addressed that in the
Mm-hmm.
draft. I just need to see how he develops.
Yeah.
And I know you mentioned the Seahawks in your top 10. They're my honorable mentions. And I'm going to put those stupid ass, stinking ass cowgirls in honorable mentions. And they
Okay.
shouldn't be, but they are.
Gene, you did say that. Yes. And I mean, look, I feel like the Richardson where he was drafted was obviously a bigger
I tried to give
climb.
Will a chance. I tried. Everybody
Right,
knows
you
I
did.
tried to give Will a chance.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you weren't even excited for the pick necessarily, but like you said, you're gonna give him a shot. But at least
And
that
then,
was the top of the second round. They didn't use the
yeah,
first round because if they used the first round pick on him, like
which
people
team
should.
is in a better position to get rid of their mistake? Mine.
Yes, that's why Richmond was four. I keep want to say Richmond was five. So yeah, even worse. He was a fourth pick,
He's
and he's gonna
four and
lose his
played in
job to
17
Daniel
games.
Jones.
His
Crazy.
shoulder's messed up and he can't throw a ball worth a damn.
Yep. But hey, the Colts wanted to take a shot at him.
Swing and
Um,
a miss.
exactly. Honorable mentions for me were teams that you kind of mentioned, like the Giants, um, the Chargers, and I mean, I'm tempted to throw my team as an honorable mention,
Go ahead and do it.
but it's
Go
like
ahead and do it.
they have brought in so many different pieces. I think it's going to take a little bit of time for them to gel, and I don't know if they'll end up around the top 10, but like next year, I could see it. But you know what? I'll do it because look, Vrabel's coming in there. He's going to him and Terrell Williams obviously are going to build that defense up. Christian Gonzalez, one of my favorite guys on the team, uh, showed last season he's a shutdown corner. You're bringing Carlton Davis on the other side. I feel like they should be a top 15 defense in the league. Like I said, Giants. You mentioned all the reasons why, and yeah, like I said, I'll put together a graphic, or you can put a graphic for your team for your top 10. I'll do for mine, something like that, and we'll put up in our Discord, we'll put up on our WordPress, Tumblr, we'll put it up
Facebook,
everywhere.
everything. It'll be up.
Yeah, we'll put it on Facebook as well. Yes. All right. Final topic of the night, the main event. So, who knew a video game could cause so much? But 2K26 released the cover, which has Angel Reese on the WNBA edition. People, yes, this is basically our final burn. People lost their mind because we know Angel Reese has been very polarizing. where you have sections of fans that no, I'm gonna put it up. I'm gonna put up the file bar. You know, you have sections of fans that kind of crave for the moments where she doesn't look great with the me bound stuff. Then you have the other section of Angel Reese fans who have to spend almost every waking moment defending her against those. So she gets the cover, and then we get obviously the modified cover that RG3, who works into this, decided to comment on, where he wanted to defend Angel Reese while publicizing the cover, which kind of sends a mixed message because why would you put it out there, especially for your fan base that you built up from basically hating on Angel Reese? And you got the staring gate of war on. Yeah, I mean, yeah. When I said lost their mind, I was a little much, but yeah, by him showing the cover, like you said, gave the moron who thought that was funny to do their 15 minutes of fame, which unfortunately social media, that's what a lot of people are looking for. So now once again RG3 has kind of stepped into an Angel Reese conversation that he's done before and has kind of looked foolish. I don't even know where we should even start with this. Like, let's start with the cover. You have any problem with Angel Reese being chosen for the WNBA cover of
No.
2K26? No. Yeah. And look, there's people talking about they should have given it to Caitlin Clark, and we'll touch on that in a little bit. I'm like, if you didn't want Angel Reese on the cover, there was probably literally only one athlete who you should say should have gotten on there. And I would have thrown Nafisa Collier into the ring to possibly be on the cover outside of Angel Reese. But there's a good chance Collier might be on it next year, especially if she wins an MVP. Like, I would put her on the cover for next season. So I didn't have a problem with it. I thought for a video game cover, people have kind of made it much bigger than it needs to be. Number one, uh, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, if Collier's on the next season, I'm like, yeah, she fully deserves that one. So, so that's the first part. We both agree, have no problem with her being on it. So, what are your thoughts on RG3 trying to play the switch up game to come to her defense, even though he did it in probably the worst possible way of doing so?
He's on some grade A bullshit. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
Grade A.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you read that, like, and I took the time, my precious note taking time to write that damn tweet, rewrite it so I can read it. Because I'm gonna put in my commentary as I read the goddamn tweet,
Mm-hmm.
talking about all right, this has got to stop. There's no place for racism in this world, whether you like a player or not. Nah, dum dum. There is a place for racism in this world. If one plus one equals five. Next, Angel Reese should never be called or depicted as a monkey. And then you share the picture. We're gonna go back to that in just a second.
Mm-hmm.
And here he goes with this self-serving, self-sufficient, victim blaming, crying ass bullshit. I have been quiet on the Angel Reese front because she shared a video that aided in my wife's family and friends receiving death threats, threats of receiving physical harm to my family, and da 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 da. So you see people being racist towards this girl, and you're quiet because she shared a video of somebody defending her because your coon ass decided that you wanted to attack her unnecessarily. Then think about it. This is not the first time that this has happened. You consistently interject yourself when it comes to Angel Reese because you know that that's bringing clicks. You're grifting off of her damn name for attention, and you're trying to downplay it. And we're on your ass about it. That will never be okay with me. Shut your ass up. You put that on yourself. Like, I never attacked her or her family when I stated and backed up with clear basketball evidence. Basketball evidence. Nigga, you don't even watch basketball. What are we talking about? You don't talk about the WNBA when um unless it's Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese. You don't talk about that. You barely talk about the NBA. So clear basketball evidence. Shut your wide tooth having ass up. Just lying through that damn gap in between his teeth.
Mhm.
Like, it's sports. Everybody won't like each other. Nah, duh, dipshit. And here is the lie that what you said about people in Angel Circle called me. Who the hell are you for them to call you?
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. With all the stuff you said about her, why would her inner circle want to reach out to you?
Some people made it about race, but I never did. Yes, the hell you have.
Um,
Again, you're trying to lie like people don't have receipts for this.
mhm.
I just decided not to say anything instead of becoming the villain. Because people hold you accountable for what the things you say about certain types of black women makes you a villain, then yes, shut the hell up.
Mhm.
You shutting the hell up is free as hell. It's free. FREE. Free 99. It costs nothing to be quiet. What was the point of that? Why are we grabbing for attention and sympathy? You didn't want to. The thing is, you wanted to cause attention to it to say that it's bad. No, that's not what the fuck you wanted to do. What you wanted to do was take that moment, make it about yourself, and cry victim about what she may have done to you. You tried to make that shit about you. I don't fuck with that. Like, and then you lie about. Then you're lying.
Mhm.
Why would anybody that deals with Angel also deal with you? Y'all are two different social spaces. She is a single 23-year-old woman. Who the hell is she dealing with that's calling your old married ass to tell you her business? Who?
Mhm.
Answer that. So you're mad that she shared a video that was defending her because you attacked her. So you're trying to gaslight her too? Like, the image, the thing is, the damn picture barely had any engagement before you did that. Had like
Yes.
35 views. And then you, with your millions of damn followers, gonna repost it. You did that for a reason. Like, you don't discuss WNBA unless it's Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And when you do, it's always often inflammatory. He just, like, did I not mention that shutting the fuck up is free?
Mhm.
Like, you should have just continued to be quiet since social media done hurt your damn feelings so much.
Yeah.
Damn cool. He a clown. He has this weird parasocial relationship with Angel that he wants to use her name for clout.
The Gene just put had 22 likes, 6,000 views, 6,000 views before, 6 million since. Like that's the thing, because if he wanted to do that with the following that he has, that he built up because of his critiquing of Angel Reese, why would that audience want your help in defending her? They don't want to hear any of that. So you shared it out to a bunch of people who probably saw that cover, and you know anybody on that side would probably say like, "Oh, people need to lighten up. It's just lighthearted fun." No, it's not. It's much deeper than that, and um, it's like the photo report. Yeah, like exactly. If you wanted to help, you flag it, you get it taken down, and whatever. But him now trying, because he's not on ESPN and all that anymore, so he's grasping at straws. He's in the early stages of the Jason Whitlock, because Whitlock does the same thing. Although I haven't heard him much with this, now that I'm seeking him out. But I also find it funny that Angel Reese goes through her greatest stretch in her career, and you were magically silent. Oh, because you had no reason to bash her. And that's something I've seen like across a lot of social media, that during this stretch of her play, the videos coming out and talking about how she's trash and all that, a lot of them been quiet. And you look at the season that she's having, she's putting it together, which might be the scary thing, because she could get even better. And I think for a lot of these WNBA fans, even though, like you said, RG3 probably doesn't watch a lot, or if he does, sure. But for a lot of them, I think that's a scary part, because the better she gets, the more the me bound stuff gets pushed in the background. And then it's, what else can you really say about her? She's not, from interactions I've seen with her and fans, she's a delightful person with all of them, especially with like young kids who run into her and stuff like that. She is what the league needs to grow, building that connection with the audience and everything. And I'm not saying you have to like blindly follow her or anything like that, but keep the critiques if you want to play on the court, and like legit stuff, like not the same tired stuff over and over. Like they'll post the one clip of her if she goes for a crossover and loses the ball, but they won't post like her dropping like 20 rebounds or hitting like I saw today, she hit a little midi, and I was like, okay, that's been a part of her game. I've been like, you develop that, then you can really take off. But kind of getting off point here. So RG3 in general, I'm at the point where I don't need RG3 talking anything women's sports at all.
I
Like
blocked it though.
You played NFL, you want to talk NFL, talk NFL. Like, he should be the type where he goes in social media, he blocks the name Angel Reese. He shouldn't see anything about her, because then he'd have nothing to say. People are hateful to be hateful. When Caitlin had her great season, her haters kept bringing up her turnovers. Now Angel's having a great season, and the same people who had issues with Caitlin's turnovers are now talking about Angel leading the league in turnovers. Yes, because that is the new thing now. They're looking at Angel, I guess, total turnovers. She leads the league or something like that, and that's what they're pointing to now. And Gene, I definitely agree with you. I think there is a space where you can appreciate both Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and live in harmony. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, they are like two gated communities that do not want to cross paths.
It's not on social media. I appreciate both. But am I going to
Yeah,
mention both of them in the same goddamn tweet? Nope.
but and I think that's the thing. If you hear people mention both of them, it's most likely somebody who watches the W and appreciates it. I think, unfortunately, you have a lot of Caitlin Clark fans, and you have a lot of people who are just like Angel Reese fans. I think they only focus on those two, so they like bunker down and defend them to the end. I mean, it's all right for the conversation, but I would like for those fans to venture out. The league is more than those two. Like we just talked about Nafisa Collier. She's somebody who I feel like is criminally not talked about enough for how good she is. Asia Wilson seems like she's been kind of forgotten in a lot of this. Still a great player. We have Paige Beckers having a great rookie season. Don't hear a lot about it because these two dominate the conversation way too much. Golden State, expansion team, having a much better season than anybody would have thought. Nobody talks about them like that because of these two. So I feel like the discourse between the two of them needs to get better soon, or the same fans that you brought in might start turning off some of the actual fans because of this. And that
Mhm.
won't help the league in any way. Feel like it's Democrats and Republicans. If you like one, you can't like the other. I disagree. And that's yes. I mean that's a whole topic for another day, but yes, that's on the same lines for sure.
On the
And
same lines.
yeah,
Great comparison.
that actually is a really good comparison. And yeah, for some reason we got away from just having like legit sports conversations backed by facts, not fabricating stuff to pump up your side to, denigrate the other side. We don't need that.
People in
The Who
Angel
Talks About
Circle
Them Wire
call
to
me.
Wire does. Yes. Your show and One Coffee and Sports Network. Yes. I mean, look, I when it comes to upstart leagues like the WNBA, you gotta support them and support them in the right way. So yes, Jory and I will prove, as Gene put and one other shows on the network, we are more than Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
Angel Reese's people in Angel Reese's circle called me and da 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 da. Da. Oh, I'm
And if
so
somebody in her
important.
circle supposedly calls you, I'm gonna need Angel to find out who it is and kick that person out because you
Like
do
what
not
Jalen
need
Brown
that.
said.
You do not need that lifeline to RG3. He will do nothing to help you.
Like Jalen Brown said. State your source.
That was such a good moment. Well, look, Jalen Brown's another guy. Critical thinker, outside the box. He can kind of rope some people, but he's somebody who won't stand for that kind of like. If this had happened to Jalen Brown, like it'd have been too good. Jalen Brown would have gone at RG3. And look, shout out to Angel Reese as well. Angel Reese hasn't really gotten involved in any of this nonsense necessarily to the point that she could have gone full petty against RG3 by this point. She hasn't. So credit to her as well.
Why don't RG3 go at the actual NBA players like that?
It's a good point. Does he really chime in on NBA like that?
No. And that's how I know he's nothing but an attention seeking, grifting fucking clown. Excuse me. But like you
But the grifting is part of social media. Grifting gets you views, gets you followers. They'll follow the trends. That's what he does. Angel Reese does something he knows. The minute he mentions those two words, Angel and Reese, boom, instant reaction, instant whatever that he gets out of it. Look, Skip Bayless made a career out of this.
all that goddamn tap dancing.
Well, I'm
I
saying
hope
like,
he's straight as hell.
what do we remember? What do we remember Skip Bayless for? Constantly talking LeBron. Why? Because LeBron was the biggest thing in sports, and it worked for him until Grandpa got a little loopy, and they had to kick him off TV. But he still has his platform. He still has his platform where he still spews it out. It's just not on TV anymore. So, look, I say it all the time because people are like, "Oh, imagine if Jordan had social media." If I'm Jordan, I'm kind of glad I didn't have to go through this. Like
Hmm.
the worst Michael Jordan had to read was like Jay Mariotti in Chicago Paper. He'd be like, "Okay, fine," but if he had to live through this every day of his haters just nitpicking at the smallest, dumbest things, like I don't know how some of these athletes really do it, but I think the
Look,
whole moral of the story, RG3, just don't talk WNBA anymore. I made a video complimenting Angel Reese, got hundreds of likes, and people followed it, but it almost feels like it was clickbait. Was it? Yeah.
I've muted the words Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark on Twitter.
And I'm like, I'm sure a lot of fans have done so because it's
And
now
I only
year
see it when
two.
I want
But this is now year 2 of the day-to-day comparison of the two, and it is nauseating. Like last year, whatever, they were both rookies coming up and everything, whatever. I thought they would have burned out. But no, it started up as soon as the WNBA started getting back into it. Very first thing was Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese, who's better? It's like, put it to rest. Move on.
Right.
Jordan was coming during the social media era. He wouldn't have made it. He'd been, I mean, probably. It is fascinating to think about. I do think about that a lot. Like, what if we had social media for like a Dennis Rodman? That man's
His
feed would
tweets
have
would
been
have been
must see
insane.
TV.
His
He
damn
would,
tweets would have
he probably
been
would have loved it. But,
his
yeah.
tweets
Mm-hmm.
would have been insane.
Robin would have been like the cryptic tweet kind of guy. Kind of like how Cam Newton likes to tweet with like random uh, fonts that I can't understand why he does that, but I feel like Rodman would have been that type.
As long as he don't give us the Cam
Jordan,
Newton font.
yeah. Darius Rodman is a current day Kanye. That's not a bad comparison either.
Not bad. That
Jordan wasn't a good person. He was the greatest player ever, but an awful person. Yeah. But I feel like, Jordan kind of would have been unapologetic about it, and people would have hated him even more. Step above current day AB. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, look. Coming up on 2 hours. I feel like we gave RG3 more than enough time. But like I said, the bottom line, the conclusion is I swear, the next time something
he's
happens
a
with
loser.
the next time something happens involving Angel Reese, I'm gonna need RG3 to sit that one out. Because you tried it enough, you failed enough, you're done. Just in RG3's world, Angel Reese is a ghost. She's a myth. She's the
He's a
Zion
damn
Williamson
loser.
of the WNBA. A myth.
He's a loser. He is a clown. He is a coward. He is obsessed. He is weird. He is an
Mm-hmm.
idiot. He is a moron. He's an airhead, a smooth
Yeah.
brain bat.
Mm-hmm. And the crazy thing is that now with this, everybody's looking back at the Rob Parker statement about him being a cornball and going, Rob Parker tried to warn us, and we didn't listen.
How many times has Robert Griffin III shown us that he was a damn cornball?
Yeah, too many to count at this point.
Milk. Just 2 months ago, he was talking about some damn milk.
I actually
And
forgot
another
all
thing,
about that. I forgot all about
another
that
thing,
when this thing came out. Yeah, that was another step in just weird. Yeah, I don't know. I just throw
another
my hands
thing.
up at RG3 at this point now.
That video that you claim traumatized you so much they hurt your feelings and gave you threats. Literally made a joke about it, talking about some damn milk. Shut your lying ass up, you damn fraud.
There you go. That's RG3 in a nutshell. He pretends like he cares about the WNBA. He probably doesn't at all. But
Like,
yes, yeah. Like I said, we've given enough time to RG3. I guess let's go ahead, wrap this one up. I don't know. Did you want to do like a quick minute on the LeBron thing or save that?
Le- LeBron breaking my damn nerve. Retired. That's the only
Okay,
thing I have left for LeBron James. Retire.
there you go. Well, that
And
day's coming.
if you flop again, somebody deserves to come upside your goddamn head. You too old for that.
I think the funniest thing is there are some people the day that he announces retirement they're gonna wake up the next morning and not know what to do with their life. They won't know who to root for in the NBA. They'll be looking for a team or something like that. And I'm just like, he's a great player, but the league's gonna be fine when he's gone. And you know he's not gonna stay away.
I mean, if
He's
you
gonna find some way to be I I don't know. Probably some studio analyst, something like that.
I don't want to see him on a damn TV. I've seen him
Well,
enough.
actually, we already know what he's gonna do because he already talked about like wanting to own the Vegas basketball team. So that's probably what he'll try to get into. Which means that's gonna be where James Jones will be working because you know LeBron's gonna bring him along. That man has
Good luck
found
with
his
that
way
hot
to
ass
the
mess.
top. He butchered the Suns and now works for the league. How did he manage that? That man should be teaching classes on how he's navigated this. But like I said,
If he
that's for
teaches
another day.
a class how to scam,
Yeah,
if he has a class on how to scam, I'll enroll because that's what he's doing.
it is fascinating. But before we get out of here, Jory, anything you want, let the people know that you're working on, what they can look forward to over on Jory Sports Stories, which you guys need to go check out.
I haven't art. It's been a very very busy couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I have an episode that should be out within the next couple of days. I will have an article. I will have also my list, like you said, the top 10 quarterbacks, running backs, receivers. I will have those posted, so stay tuned for that. And I do have a surprise that I'm launching soon, so but you have to tune in to George Sports Stories for that.
All right, there you go. I have like two articles I've been simultaneously working on. Eventually, I'm gonna finish one or both and put those up on our WordPress and everything. Um, like I said, I'll be back on Wire to Wire on Tuesday for On the Ball with Bread, where John, the topic you tagged me on, we'll definitely get into that there. And like I said, Jory and I will probably touch on that again next week. So I have the link in the description for the Discord, which from there you can get the link to Tumblr and WordPress. So if you want more from the show, Jory and myself, join the Discord. Happily talk to you in there. So with that, until next week, where you'll have to tune in next week to see who makes our final burn, because somebody will annoy us by then. Boxing shame on y'all for cheating. Put Serrano. Oh, okay. Davian's got a beef with boxing. Well, boxing is part of the sports world I am not well versed in. But until next week, where Jory and I will do another top 10 list for the NFL. Obviously, Jory and I will decide off stream which position group we're going to go to. Let's decide right now and give people something to wait for. Who did defense today? Where should we go for next week?
Receivers.
There you go. We'll do our top 10 wide receivers next week. You want to do wide receivers or wide receiver group? No, we'll do wide receivers. Yeah. So you can look for that
And then
next week.
We can do units closer to the season. We can do units
Yeah.
closer to the season.
Yeah, we'll do that. So make sure you guys are tuned in to all the shows on the network. Make sure you come back next week for another edition of Passion and Precision. For myself and for Jory, we're out of here. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll see you all next week. All right, bye.